Could you remind me of some of the most famous American aircraft from World War II? I think one of them was either a B-17 or a B-29. It is hard to deny that they had a strong influence on the events of the war. But could you remember the first Boeing aircraft? Could you remember how this company began, when no one knew about it? Which airplane changed the entire aviation industry? In this video, I will answer all these questions. So let's not waste time. Quickly like and subscribe if you haven't already. And finally, let's get started. The history of this company began in 1916. And this is what Boeing 1 looked like, the company's first airplane. After that, they created about 10 more different piston-engine aircraft. These were mainly used by the military or for mail delivery. By this point, Boeing could already be considered a successful company. Its founder, William Edward Boeing, had aircraft production, an airmail company, and contracts with the US government. During World War I, Boeing's planes weren't widely used. But by the 20s, there was a huge lineup of different vehicles in service with the United States. However, Boeing's true success came during World War II. But before we move on to that, we need to lay the foundation for this success. Meet the Boeing 247, one of the first mass-produced passenger airliners. It appeared in 1933. Although only 75 of them were built, the airplane was a groundbreaker. First of all, it introduced a lot of advanced design features. For example, the plane was all metal and had retractable landing gear. It even had autopilot. Can you imagine? Autopilot! Together with other innovations, these features increased both reliability and speed. In 1933, the Boeing 247 was faster than the US Army's main fighter plane, also made by Boeing, but the P-12 model. But that isn't even the most important thing. The most important thing is that the Boeing 247, along with the Douglas DC-2, essentially created a new financial market, the air transport industry. They made it possible for ordinary people, well, not so ordinary, it's better to say rich people, to fly on airplanes. As a result, they also created a new type of businessman who continue to feed them to this day – airline owners. That is, now we can clearly see one of three pillars on which Boeing will be standing – civil aviation. But exactly at the same time, the second pillar appears – military aviation. By the 30s, Boeing already had a lineup of fighters and even more – bombers. There were a lot of unsuccessful models, and we don't have enough time to go over all of them. But what needs to be mentioned is the B-17 Flying Fortress, which took off in 1938. It is hard to believe that they built 12,731 of these aircraft. And this wasn't just some little plane, it was a full-size bomber. So, even before World War II, Boeing had secured one of the key positions in the US defense industry. Then World War II began. Obviously, the civilian market is down. But military contracts became very important. The first thing to understand is Boeing's place in the US defense industry. They failed to gain a strong position as a fighter jet manufacturer. Yes, in the 20s and 30s, they created many prototypes. but only the P-26 Shooter went into production. But compared to normal fighters of World War II, for example, the North American P-51 Mustang, the Boeing plane was nothing more than flying target. But I mentioned the B-17 for a reason. In fact, it was this airplane that allowed Boeing to gain a strong position as a manufacturer of heavy transport and strategic aviation. B-17 evolved into B-29, then into B-50, and later into the legendary B-52. And Boeing's transport planes handled a significant portion of the cargo transport in all conflict zones. In the next part of the video, I will tell you about the golden era of Boeing. You will hear about the most successful and no less legendary airplanes, and also about the most successful deals. This video will appear in this place. Click on it and enjoy. But don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. I'll be interested to know your opinion.